Chris,
Hey,
what's up, brother?
yeah, I'm good, my brother. You ready to do this?
Okay.
I like that
Can you
shirt.
hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. Just clicked on.
All right, let me clean this thing off. So you keep a joint over top of the camera. You think they be watching you?
Yeah, I've seen it on a couple of things. They say people can just tap into your camera and look through the.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, you know all kind of stuff. It's technology, man.
You never know what. Let me send this thing out. Hold tight.
What kind of deal you was checking out today?
Oh, this was I tried to go live and put it up there. It wouldn't work. This is a house. A guy called me on a 2,000 square foot house. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. Let me open it up. We talk about it. Why not? Why not? Shit. Public. Here we go.
What's your Facebook channel?
It's Chris Haskins 7. I can send you a link. Chris.Haskins.7. I'll email it to you. I couldn't find you on Facebook.
Yeah, I got it on there. Eddie Ray.
Eddie Ray. I looked at all of them joints. What's yours? It's just Eddie E. How you spell yours? ED.
I put ED. I put Ed Ray. EDRAY.
Uh, I
I
see
got
you.
a business one, but this is a different.
I sent you a friend thing. This is gonna be cool, man.
Okay, that's you. Right
Yeah,
there.
this is gonna be cool, man. Let me ask you.
Okay, that's
Oh, the one I looked at today, Eddie, was house, man. One of those old joints, man. I'm sick of those old joints with the plaster, Eddie. I
you. Yeah,
don't, I don't
that's a
want
total rehab, man. I'm gonna tell you what though. I
to.
sold this guy this lot, man. This his first time, cause he do renovation and stuff too. But
uh,
this project here, I sold him a lot. It was a burn down. He knocked everything down. Sold it to him for 30,000. He said he spent 60,000 on the new construction. He said he was about 10,000 over budget, but he got a contract for 210.
30, 210.
He in at 90,000, and he shit. He gonna walk away with probably about 100 grand at the
Oh,
closing cost, about 90 grand.
he fixed it up for 60.
Yeah, brand new from
Shit,
the
that's
ground up.
wow. That's a smoker.
So I'm like, shit, it make more sense to do new construction because
Yeah,
everything. You got all the paperwork, everything brand new. It's gonna. I said, man, this house gonna be gone.
that's what I'm. Yeah, dude. New construction, Eddie. It just.
Cause it took him the same amount like he did a rehab. Okay, it took him an extra 2 months because it was his first project, but still.
Mhm.
To walk away with about 90 grand, and it's a new house, so you know it's gonna pass inspection. I mean, if it don't, it's
Yeah,
gonna be a little minor stuff.
yeah.
But they got him. He charged. Boy, he said, "Man, I ain't never doing another rehab." New construction all the way.
I
They
bet.
look for lots now.
Well, I don't know about 60,000. I'm spending my new constructions, and we're gonna get to our training. We got some viewers. Our new constructions, Eddie, it's taking me, every bit of 130, 140, 150.
What's the resale value?
Yeah, that's my point. Well, the one we're doing now, I just bought one. We're gonna tear it down hopefully next week, brother. It's gonna cost me 155 to build. The ARV is 250, and we paid 30 for the lot. So we're only gonna be making 50, man. Those big home runs.
Oh,
But shit, what the hell?
brand new.
A $60,000 rehab to me, Eddie, is almost like that's a normal rehab, dog. What
You
you
know,
spend?
our value is a lot cheaper than y'all.
Yeah, you can get
Your
a
house, like a 3,000 square foot home up there. What is it going for up there?
oh
Because
man,
down here it'd be about 300,000.
yeah, 3,000 square foot, you're gonna be upper closer to four. I mean, closer to four. Easy. I mean, we're $120 a square foot, maybe. Y'all getting y'all not that. I mean, 3,000 square foot down there, man. You shouldn't. You paying $100 a square foot down there?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, that's coming up. I thought you'd get more down there. But you know what though? Oh, I know what it is. You getting a big yard down there, right? You getting what you getting, an acre or something?
Yeah, you're sitting on about a half an acre.
Oh yeah, that no, yeah, you said shit. Up here is you might get a quarter acre, maybe. Yeah. All right, brother Eddie. Thanks for hanging out with me, man. I really appreciate your time.
Oh yeah.
This is cool. All right, let me see. Make sure I get our viewers here so I know whose questions we got. If you got questions, party people, if you got questions, class, put them in the side there. I'm hanging out with Eddie Raymond today. Thank you so much for your time, my brother.
No problem. How y'all
Sure.
doing?
Yeah, everything's good. All right, Eddie, today, our class, I saw you a while back do a pretty house deal. We're going to get into that, but just give me a little background on you for our viewers. Who the hell are you? Why should we listen to you? I know what you're doing, but just share a quick story with us.
Okay. Well, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, so this is my city. I'm still down here. We're doing deals down here. But I started about 14 years ago. Started 14 years ago. I was driving forklift, actually. So I had to make a decision. And at the time, I had three kids. So my
Wow.
mom, she spent $5,000 on a seminar, my first seminar. And so I went to my boss. I said, "Boss, can I take off 3 days to go to the seminar?" And of course, she was like, "Nope." So I had to make a tough decision. I'm like, well, do I stay here and drive forklifts forever for $12 an hour? Or do I take a chance on something I really don't know too much about
Oh,
and change my life? So I just rolled the dice, and it was one of the best decisions I made.
praise God.
So now, so been in the game now since 2005, and
Hmm.
doing wholesale lease options, subject to owner financing, short sales, everything.
Wow. Nice. Nice. Let me cut this thing off real quick. Now, what intrigued me about what you are doing, let me get some feedback here. Hold on. Check. What intrigued me about what you are doing is you're not dealing with ugly houses.
Well, the ugly houses, everybody's in that game right now. But the hidden gem is actually the pretty houses. I like the pretty houses; they look better. You come out smelling still in like cologne instead of funk, and you're dealing with better class of people, and you're making more money really than like a wholesale deal. Just like one we just closed on about 2 weeks ago. It was a wholesale lease option where we found the tenant buyer. We made 12 grand, gave the homeowner first month and security deposit. So we gave them about, let's see, it was 1,500, 3 grand. So we made about 9 grand off that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I love the pretty house business.
So what took you to pretty houses? What made you go there?
Well, when I first started, I learned how to do all of it,
Hmm.
pretty houses and ugly houses. But to me, and another important thing, you got to think about it. Only about 20 to 30% of people can actually get financing to buy houses. So you have you have 75 to 80% of people that can't qualify. And Chris, honestly, I'll say we've been building our buyers list for about 6, 7 months. We have over $1 million with buyers. It's ridiculous.
Now, when you say $1 million, you're referring to down payment money.
Down payment money, yes.
Yeah. And we're gonna get to all that, man. That's the moving parts that I want to get to that somebody might say, what in the hell is that? So the houses you're doing, let me ask you, do they have equity or are they no equity deals?
Some have equity, some don't have equity. The
Now,
ones that don't have equity, we put them in there on a long-term lease. So about 5 years. So hopefully the market will catch up with it.
that's the ones that do have equity.
That don't have equity. The ones that don't have equity, we put a long-term lease on there for about 5 to 7 years. So let the equity build up in time.
Okay. Now let's back up because I don't want to lose our viewers. Pretty houses, lease options. Give me so before we get to the how to, we got to know what we're talking about. Tell me what a typical pretty house deal will look like for you.
Well, typical pretty house deal will look like, let's say you have a homeowner, they have an extra property. For some reason, they need to get rid of it, or they moved out of town, or something like that. And it's actually better to lease purchase the property instead of renting out the property because let's be realistic. Most people who rent the property, they're not going to really take care of it
Hmm.
versus somebody who does a lease purchase. It's two different mindsets. One, ownership, and one just, I'm going to rent it and treat it any kind of way that I want.
Hmm.
So, we present that to the homeowners. They also get tax benefits, appreciation, all type of different things, and they get a property off their hand that they don't have to worry about, no maintenance, because our lease purchase agreement, the tenant buyer is responsible for all the repairs after 30 days.
Hmm.
So that's a major relief for the homeowner.
Nice.
Who really want to be woke up 2 or 3 in the morning by a tenant who needs a toilet fix,
Yeah.
something like that?
I
So
got
go ahead.
but
So we look for homeowners that are motivated, ready to sell the property, but for some reason they can't sell it. Some of the properties need a little repairs, a little TLC, and we pass that on to the tenant buyer.
gotcha. Gotcha. So I got to tell you, my favorite deals are lease options, brother Eddie. I don't know if I told you that, man. They're my favorite way to sell houses, man. I mean, I told people I get out of the repair business, right? Because the tenant buyer is the one that's responsible for the repairs, right?
Right.
Good. Okay, so we're going in the house. So you saying you're doing ones that, oh, your typical one is no equity. Or let me ask you, is your typical deal equity or no equity?
Some equity and a little equity.
Okay.
Of course, if people have enough equity to sell, they're going to straight out sell. But most of them have a little equity, let's say 10, 20 grand. But if they try to sell it, the real estate commission is going to take that up in closing costs. So they really don't really have equity. So most of them are, a little equity. They got a little equity, either no equity at all or upside down.
Yeah, those are the ones with the most motivation.
Oh yeah.
So let's just say for our training today, brother Eddie, let's just say these houses have, well, when I say equity, I'm talking 30, 40, 50. Something that's gonna, I mean, because with 10,000 to me is no, I consider that to fall under the no equity because closing costs and realtor fees are gonna eat that up, right?
Right.
Okay, so go ahead.
Now this last one we got rid of, it had about 40 to 50,000 in there. Now you're gonna find some with equity, but they know they can't get all the equity because they need upgraded.
So it's a repair issue.
Right.
Okay. So still a difference between ugly and pretty is still, it's not,
Now it's cosmetic,
okay.
like major stuff like plumbing and all of that stuff. It's just cosmetic, paint, carpet. The kitchen may be a little outdated or something like that. But
Gotcha.
most of them are cosmetic,
Okay.
like 5,000 or and under.
Gotcha. All right. And a lot of times your homeowner or your seller doesn't want to do any of that.
Nothing. And
Gotcha.
most of them don't have the money, especially if they stand somewhere else and that property is vacant. So they're trying to make that mortgage payment every month. They definitely don't have the money to come in and renovate it.
Yeah, they don't want to do that. Okay, so they're paying where they're living, and they've got perhaps another rental property, or would it be where they used to live?
Yeah, where they used to live.
So they
This
reload.
this this one is vacant. Just say most of the properties are vacant. The sellers moved on to other places.
Don't want to rent it out.
They got to foot that bill until it's occupied. They have it on the market. Like expired listings would be a good source too for people.
Gotcha.
They
Gotcha.
expire for some reason. A lot of homeowners don't know it's help out here. So that's why it's such a big market. Like a lot of investors are stuck in just wholesaling, but it's so much money in wholesale lease options. It's ridiculous.
Now, when you say wholesaling, the
Ugly houses.
that's my point. The connotation is that people think that well, you're still wholesaling. Yeah, the
Right.
connotation is you're wholesaling high equity houses to ugly high equity houses, right?
With the ugly houses.
When you
Yeah.
say wholesaling, well, what I still want our viewers to know that you are wholesaling it, just not in the same instance as an ugly house with high equity, correct?
Right. So we basically wholesaling to someone who wants to live there instead of like when you wholesaling ugly houses to investors. So we wholesaling to tenant buyers
Very nice.
who want a home. They want the American dream, and we give them that reality. Now, I
Yeah.
would say most of them are not going to buy, but that's the nature of the beast.
Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and let's talk about your buyer. What does your typical buyer look like, Eddie?
Typical buyer will look like bad credit. So when we advertise, we no bank needed, no credit check, bad credit, okay.
Oh man.
And that right there, it brings them in by the boatload. And it's just it's amazing, man. All these people that have money like that, it's you can't believe it, man. It's and you got to think about it, it's more people looking to own a house than buy a house and renovate and invest in a house. So more people want to own a home than invest in a home, as far as renovating and fix it up. So you just got a big pool of buyers,
Yep.
big pools of buyers, big down payments, and of course you want to be in the good areas because you get bigger down payments. Like up here on the north side in the Gwinnett and Cobb, anybody that's familiar with Georgia, Gwinnett, Cobb, we easily get 10,000 or better. We go down to the south side of town. Your down payments are anywhere between 3 and 5,000. So of course you want to be in a pretty good neighborhoods, somewhere you'll want to live at.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So I've got a mission statement on my lease options, Eddie. I like to tell people, hey, listen, we provide home ownership for people that can't necessarily go out and get a loan.
Right. I like that.
So is there a specific thing you tell people when you talk to them? Like, listen, this is what we offer. I like that
Yes,
American Dream thing. That was nice. American Dream.
there's something similar to that. We offer the American dream.
I like that. I like that.
And we have credit repair people too also to help them get financing if they want to. So we give them that option. You can go through our mortgage brokers and our credit repair people to get financing.
Okay.
So some take us up on that offer, some don't. So it's the nature of the beast. I think my first subject two I did back in '05. This particular house, we still have it. It's almost paid off. We've had about, and we made so much money off that property. At least about 40 grand with down payments. People get in the house, they won't buy it, they lose their money, they fine with it, they move on. I'm just like, wow. So but the house is almost paid off. So, if they buy, they buy. If they don't, they don't. It's no problem with me. I hope you will want to buy it, especially if you're putting down that kind of down payment. But things happen, man. It's life. So
Yeah,
things happen.
things do happen. Listening to you, I feel like you have been watching my life buying and selling my subject two houses that I have bought, and people I've kicked them out or evicted them, and then got another deposit with a new tenant buyer, and then they disappear over the next whatever time.
back to back, and they keep just paying the mortgage down, and you keep collecting non-refundable down payments. It's a beautiful business.
I run into a lot of clients that think that people have a problem with walking away from a down payment. What is your experience with that?
Nah, they don't care. Because once they put it down, I mean, they know from the beginning this is non-refundable, so there's nothing we do full disclosure. This is non-refundable. If you do not buy, you will not get your money back. And I haven't had anybody challenge that.
Wow, that is amazing. Yeah, me neither. I think I had one guy try to get me for $1,000 down payment, but he had an attorney call me, and after they looked over the document, they said, "No, we're not even going to come after it."
Because you signed off on it. And
Right.
another good thing too, we make sure we close with the attorney. When we do these lease purchase deals, we make sure we close with the attorney. Our attorney only charges like $250. So we either will pay that or split it with the buyer.
So when you say you're closing with an attorney, when you go in to buy or when you go to sell,
They're going to sell.
gotcha. Kind of gives it more of an air of legitimacy too with your buyer, right?
Right.
Smart man. So your typical buyer, they have challenge credit. You said I don't say bad credit. I would just say it's challenge credit.
Right.
They got challenge credit. They can't get a loan, and they've been good boys and girls and saved up some money, perhaps.
Yeah. A lot of them save up money. A lot of them save that money up. Some of them come into lawsuits and stuff like that. But majority of the people just save the money up because one day they want to buy. Everybody want to own a house. Majority of people.
Yeah, yeah. You're tapping into that. Okay, so they come to you. They say they. Do you show them a specific house, or do you have just houses you put out and you put ads out, and the buyers will call for those particular houses?
Right. We put ads out and the buyers will call for those particular properties. Sometimes even when they're sold, we will still keep the ads up so we keep generating buyers and add them to our buyers list. That's very important.
What's that?
Very important. The buyers list.
Oh, to always be looking for buyers.
Yeah, always look to buyers and always add them to your list. Put them in your list so you won't forget about them because you got so many calls coming in. I only add the ones with money.
Tell me a little bit more about that, Eddie. What do you mean?
Well, when they call in, just say, well, this property here, we have a 4-bedroom, 2 bath, but this person want a 5-bedroom, so it don't meet their criteria. But they have $30,000 down, so we'll put them on our buyers list, put them in our CMA system, and put them down and get the area they want, how soon they want to move, and as soon as we find something in their area, we'll send them an email with it and a text.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
So we have a lot of buyers. We have more buyers than houses.
Down there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
a lot of money, man. It's unbelievable. 50 grand, 100 grand, especially when we get to the high end houses. 100 grand easy, 50 grand easy.
Yeah. Before we cut out, we're gonna do that case study, the one that I saw with the video, or I'd like to do a case study of one of your pretty ones, so we can just show our viewers how you kind of put it together. We'll do that at the end.
Okay.
So your buyer challenge credit. Now, I'm flip flopping back and forth to your sellers and your buyers. Your seller, what makes them want to get into an agreement with you, brother Eddie?
Well, we present all the benefits to the seller. I mean, number one, you get appreciation from the home. You're getting the debt paid down. Your mortgage is getting paid down every month. You have a tenant buyer in there that's looking to buy your home, who's not going to tear it up, who's looking to buy it in the future. So they love all that versus the aspect of just renting it out and dealing with the headache.
Doing the repairs.
Right. And if it's enough spread in there on the monthly payments, we will stay in there and we collect the difference. Sometimes the seller they want to deal with it. It's really easy for the sellers to deal with the tenant buyers because after 30 days they're not responsible for the payment, so they just collect the check every month. But some people don't want to be bothered, period. So, we stay in there.
Yeah.
Makes sense financially for us.
Now, when you say stay in there for our viewers, what? Tell me, are you more buying on the lease options too, or are you buying? Are you taking over the title sometime, or is it a mixture?
Well, what we do, what we call wholesale lease option, but we connect the buyer and the seller. We get the check in between. We have them both sign out on a disclosure once we, connect them that, we're not responsible for anything after this point. It's between you and the buyer. So we do, we find a buyer, find a tenant buyer for a lot of them. Some of them we stay in the deal, like on a lease purchase. If it's a pretty good property, we try to stay in there.
So what do you mean stay in there?
We do, we'll do a lease purchase with the seller with the right to sublease it to the tenant buyer. And so if we're renting it out for 1,200, we're if the seller mortgage payment is 1,200, then of course we're going to rent it out for more than that, for about 14, 1,500, whatever the market rental value is. So we stay in there and collect the extra money per month. And it's really free money because remember, no repairs after 30 days, so it's just free money.
Good gracious.
I love it too.
I'm hearing you say stay in there. It kind of reminds me of doing a sandwich lease option where you buy on a lease option, right?
Right.
But you're not taking, I mean, on some of the stuff from what you're telling me, you don't even buy it. You just literally get the option and just sell that paperwork to the end buyer.
Right. In and out. Because me personally, I like to take over properties, like keep building our portfolio. I love subject twos. I would come with the seller, try to do a subject two first.
Hmm.
I love the subject two because it's ultimate control. That doesn't work, then I do, my next option is an owner financing. And then my third option is lease purchase. So we
Got
go in, we want to buy the property and own the property, but the seller just, not willing to cooperate or go those routes. Then we'll just find them a tenant buyer and, we out. We in and out. Find them a tenant buyer, connect the dots. We get our check. They get their tenant buyer and they get their check. And, we're out of the deal.
So the majority of them, they're just looking for debt relief because they don't really have any cash flow based on the loan payment.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Some of them have cash flow. But, some people just don't want to give over all of the rights to the property. So they'd rather just lease it out,
Yeah.
do a lease purchase. And, they most of them want to get rid of them anyway.
Hmm. So what is there a limit to the dollar amount of houses? One, two, three, four, $500,000 houses? I'm just picturing in my mind. I have yet to do a large pretty house deal, but I've done, one or $200,000 houses. I'm presuming that the buyers in the higher dollar range are a little more sophisticated.
Yeah. A little more sophisticated. And it's not as many buyers. I would say the sweet spot for us down here is about 300,000 to about 150, 180 between that. That's the sweet spot where we have the majority of the buyers.
Okay.
We had a big high end one worth about 1.2 in St. Marlo's Country Club down here. And the buyers were really slim and they was really picky.
Hmm.
And you have to do a lot of marketing to get rid of those. But it's some big checks at the end of the day. We had a couple of, they didn't want the house, but we had a couple of 100 grand, 150 grand people with that. So we add them to the buyers list. Now they have bigger deposits, but they're a little more picky and it's less buyers in that price range.
Yeah. Okay. This is cool, man. So you don't have to. You're literally doing no. Are you ending up having to do any repairs to these before your tenant buyer comes in?
No, we don't do any repairs because we don't own the property, so we don't want to get involved, do any repairs. If it's any major repairs need done, it's the seller has to get that done. We let them know. We do a walkthrough. Hey, this is okay. This is okay. This need to be fixed. this need to be fixed. It's on the seller. Our job only is to find a tenant buyer. If that's the kind of deal we're getting into, like a wholesale lease option, where we just wholesale it to a tenant buyer, it's totally up to them.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, if the property need repairs, just say if I took it over subject to and I sell it on a lease option, I was trying to get in light as possible. So just say if it needs some repairs and my tenant buyer has 12 grand. We're like, okay, well, it needs painting. Y'all have a problem with the painting? Okay, well, just give us 10 or just give us 10,500 instead of 12,000. So we try not to do any work. We want to be in and out as quickly as possible so we can keep turning the deals over. You
Gotcha.
get into all the repairs and another headache. So
Yeah.
plus they're gonna want to paint it whatever color they want to paint it anyway. So as long as you're not painting it bright orange or yellow, as long as it's a neutral color, we're fine.
Hmm. Nice. Nice. So you got your seller there. They're on board with you. Do you have a certain time frame? Say you've agreed, your seller's on board. Your seller's in the boat. You're rowing.
Okay.
Do you have a time frame that you say, for instance, Mr. Seller, we're gonna look for a tenant buyer, obviously. Do you have a time frame that you're gonna either start with the payments, or how do you kind of communicate with your seller? Because they want the money as fast as possible, obviously,
Right.
the monthly payment.
Well, we normally, if we're gonna do a wholesale lease option where we in and out the deal, we'll put it on the contract with the seller for 30 days. So that gives us enough time to find a buyer. But like I said, we already have so many buyers that it's crazy.
Already. Yeah, you already
But
okay.
I'm gonna tell you a good thing that works really good is signs. We still do online marketing, but I'll have somebody flood the area every weekend. Because bandit signs in most places are illegal. But we have people put them out on Friday. Sometimes we go back and take them up on Sunday. Sometimes we don't. But we flood that area with about 200 signs. That phone rings like crazy.
Now, what are these signs saying?
No credit check, no bank needed, owner financing, or rent to own. More people understand rent to own.
Rent to own.
And it's just amazing, man. There's so many calls come in. I love it. I'll tell you, it's more, to me. It's more opportunities in the pretty house business
Why you say?
because it's just more buyers. You have a bigger pool of buyers. You have about 75% of America that can't get financing. They have money saved up, a lot of money
You're right.
saved up.
You're right. I have to agree with you. I mean, I can only agree with you, brother. I'm thinking about all the lease options that I currently own, and I have yet to have a problem with someone coming up with a down payment. And we even sell them sometimes without the appliances, Eddie.
Wow.
I
So,
mean,
people want a home, man, especially if you got a family. You want your family in a nice home. And
mm,
this is the best way to get one if you can't get one, through traditional financing.
gotcha. So sometimes, just for our viewers that don't quite understand I heard you mention subject to. Give us a for our viewers that don't know what that means.
Okay, subject to is when the property, I'm sorry, the mortgage stays in the seller name, but they deed the title of the house over to you or your entity. I would prefer, well, we always put them in land trust or in our corporation, but you don't never really want to take title in your own name.
Mm-mm.
So, and you make sure you close with the attorney. No tabletop stuff. They can come back and reverse the transaction. So we make sure we close with the attorney. We use CYA letters. Everything is fully disclosed.
Good. Disclose, disclose, disclose. Have you seen a subject to get turned around yet, Eddie?
Uh, Only I had a friend that said he had one turned over, but he wasn't making the payments on it.
Oh yeah, that can
So
happen.
of course, but other than that, no. And then they have a due on sale clause, but I never seen that triggered either. And I've been in the business a while, so I haven't heard anybody that had a due on sale clause. Had the lender call the loan due.
So
Every loan has a due on sale clause. If the title transfer, and they can call it due. But as long as they're getting their payments, they don't really care. I mean, these people have millions of mortgages.
yeah,
As long as they're making their payments, they're fine.
it won't even be on the radar.
Right.
My mentor has been in the business since the '90s, and he hasn't had one call. So I don't really worry about it.
Yeah, as long as you're making the payments, you shouldn't have any problems.
So your rent to own signs, I hear you say that those are the same signs that I use. Rent to own. My phone rings off the hook. Matter of fact, it goes to an 800 number. How do you pre-screen your tenant buyers?
Yeah, we have them calling to call fire. I think that is. They call to the call fire. My assistant handles all that stuff, but it's call fire. They leave a message. It asks them how much they have down, how much can they pay a month. We go through that list, and then I have somebody call them back, the ones with the big down payments. We
So
don't
cat.
call everybody back because if it's a $300,000 house, and you say you got $2,000 down, forget about it. You wasting our time.
Yeah,
So,
they'll do that, won't they? They'll waste your time.
oh my God. A
People
lot of
waste.
people, a lot of people think rent to own mean just rent and you own in the future, so you just come with first month. No, we clearly state on the advertising, and when you call that we're looking for a reasonable down payment. And one thing also I learned too, we never really like to put a payment amount. I mean a down payment amount. Just say if you
Reasonable.
got a property, $300,000 property, and you want 30,000. We won't say 30,000 down in the ad and 1,800 a month. We try to get the down payment amount out of the seller because you could say you want 30 and they got 50.
You talking about as a buyer?
Yeah, on the buyer side, you could say when you have your advertising, we put reasonable down payment, and so because we really don't want to give a number because somebody can have 50 grand and you told them you want 30, so
Yep.
you just cheated yourself out of the extra 20.
That's exactly what my mentor used to say. Just reasonable. Matter of fact, he used to say, I'm flexible as long as you got something reasonable. That was his line. Because you really
And
never know. Good.
we will work with people on a down payment, but most of them,
What you
like
mean
we don't
work?
get.
What do you mean work with them? That work with could mean anything.
Well, I say it depends. We have to get a good feeling about the person because from experience, some people may say, just say you want 10,000 down. Some people may say, well, I have 5,000 now, and I can pay you another 2,000 in 3 or 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Then from experience, they usually don't end up paying.
Mm-mm.
So we try to
They're
get all
already
the
in.
money up front.
Yeah, they're already in the house. My thing is, what incentive do they have to pay, Eddie?
No, and most don't pay.
What did you say? Your probably Ron says your prostitute theory. Your services, the price of your services go down
Yeah,
after services are rendered.
yeah, that's a pretty good business though. I tell anybody, if you're doing ugly houses, once you get in the pretty house game, you'll love that. Probably more.
You talking about like the HGTV crap that we're all watching on TV that's forcing it down our throats?
Yeah, they don't know, all the contractors and all that stuff they got to deal with. The surprises once you open up the house and go to renovating the house. It's a lot of headache
Hmm.
when you can make the same check off a pretty house in a less amount of time in 30 days. So just say you got a rehab, you're gonna rehab. The normal turnaround time on a rehab probably 3 to 4 months from renovation to listing and then selling it. That's 3 or 4 months. You could do a pretty house deal, one a month, and make that same amount of money with less headache, less amount of time. We probably have, I'm gonna be honest with you, maybe 2 hours in each pretty house deal, if that much. Let's go from talking on the phone to the seller, the buyer, and we don't show any properties like a realtor. We put a lockbox on the door, and you go. Hey, they sell more faster like that. Put a lockbox on the door and just let them go. And sometimes we'll have them all go at the same time, so we can build up a little energy, and people start overbidding.
You talking about the tenant buyers? You have all the
Yeah.
tenant buyers go at the same time?
We have a set of like an hour, let them all go in, just have a bidding war, especially if it's a nice house.
I bet that works good. They always want us. They always want to try to beat out the other person.
Oh yeah,
I like that. I like that. Pretty houses. I haven't. I gotta be honest with you. You know how over the years you kind of do business and you do an exit strategy that works for a while, and you kind of get away from one different profit center.
right.
I need to get back into my pretty house. I was doing it years ago, man. I need to think about that, brother Eddie. Thank you for bringing it back on my radar.
Oh yeah, no problem. And we still do wholesale deals, but majority of our deals are pretty house deals.
Nice. That
We
is
will
nice.
do a couple of wholesale deals here and there. I mean, we market, so whatever come in, if it's a deal, we take it down. That's one benefit too of being able to do several different transactions. You make most wholesalers do marketing and properties come in with no equity, so they say, well, it's not a deal. Throw it
Yeah.
away. But it could be a deal. You throwing money, you leaving money on the table.
Yeah, a lot of wholesalers, from my experience, the average wholesaler looks at everything like you can build a house with a hammer, right? It looks at everything as a hammer. If they have a hammer, they got one tool, so everything will look like a nail.
Right.
If you every deal you look at, you're just looking for a nail. All you have is a hammer, So different tools to take different deals down. I think that's smart of you, brother.
Yeah.
I think
Very.
that comes over time, though, because everybody wants to. I think we're bombarded with that HG thing. What you're doing isn't what you're doing isn't popular.
Right. And it's a little thinking outside of the box. So just, everybody see that HGTV, man, they're so excited. They can't wait to get a rehab. And once they get their rehab, they're like, what the? Oh, yeah. It's not like it looked like on TV. It's real.
It's nothing like the TV, man. Nothing like the
And
TV.
make it look pretty on HGTV. I'm telling you, everybody, all my students and everybody, that's the first thing they want to. I want a rehab. I want to get a rehab. I'm like, look, that's the hardest way to get paid in real estate. There's several different ways to get paid, and I wouldn't advise doing a rehab on your first deal,
Oh no, yeah.
especially if you don't know the Mayo formula, maximum allowed offer formula on how to price it. Because you buy that property too high, and then you end up putting too much money in, and guess what? You stuck with a rental.
No, you're done.
So you either got to refinance, or hopefully you can refinance. Because I met a lady the other day. She bought a rehab. First of all, she bought it too high. She bought it
What was the Mayo? I mean, what was the ARV?
the ARV. I think it was about 200,000. She bought it. She bought it at about 75 cents on the dollar. So she already paid too much because we don't pay no more than um no, she paid like about 78%, 78 to 80% on the dollar. Plus you gotta minus repairs. We don't pay, no more than 70%. So she was
My,
already 8%, 8 to 10% over budget from the beginning. So she bought it wrong. Then she had contractors that beat her over the head. They took all this money from her and didn't renovate the house. So now she's out a lot of cash. So now she's actually over the after repair value.
oh Lord.
She I, she's in trouble. That's why I say you got to get training, man. Don't just jump out of here. When you start driving the car, you didn't just jump in the car and start driving. You had to get training. So that's why I tell people get training. That HGTV it'll have you all hyped and excited, but that's not reality.
Hmm. A lot of times they don't even put the closing costs in there, though, Eddie. I've noticed on those shows.
No, they don't. They have to make it look good for television.
So I'm paying, brother. I'm paying like $20,000 to sell a house. What are you paying down there? I mean, on an average $150,000 house, I'm paying, almost 20 grand.
20 grand for what?
Closing costs. I mean, I got realtor fees. I got closing costs for the buyer, holding costs, interest costs of the money.
Yeah, but close to that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know, it's standard everywhere. You know, it's 6% for that realtor plus that closing cost.
hmm So with the pretty house deal, you have no closing costs regarding.
No, I
Tell me
love
about that. Tell me about that, Eddie.
no closing costs. Only close. Well, $250. But you know, that's nothing
Yeah.
compared to $15,000 to $20,000.
So when getting back to our lease options, tell me about your seller regarding your down payment. You're getting $10,000 down. Are you giving some of that to the seller, or how does
Yes,
that
we
work?
usually give the seller security deposit the first month. Now we have had some sellers that are kind of tough. We had to negotiate with. They want 50% of the down payment, so we'll do that. It's fine. I mean, it's free money anyway.
Yeah,
So
because
it's a little negotiating here and there, but most sellers they don't care. They want security deposit first month because that's what we offer.
well, that's where their mind was the day before they met you, right?
Right.
Security
And we,
deposit, huh?
and we want to keep it the same way.
The platinum, the platinum rule: do unto others as they want to be done to, right? So you give them the down security deposit first month's rent while you're getting in 10 or whatever. Okay, and then you give them that. So it sounds like to me everybody's happy.
Yeah, everybody's happy. That'll make it a win-win for everybody.
And tell me about the percentages, or how many out of 10 of your tenant buyers actually qualify and they actually go get a loan, clean their credit up, and go close on this deal and get the seller and move on down the street.
Out of 10, about one or two,
Yeah.
realistically, about one or two.
What is it? Do they get in the house and they don't like the house, or they just don't do what they're supposed to do to clean their credit up, or is it a bunch of different factors?
But most of them, the majority of people don't do what they're supposed to do. They don't even take the initiative to even start. I mean, some people in the houses 2, 3, 4, 5 years and they never start fixing their credit, but they feel like we haven't had any problems where somebody come and say, "Hey, I want my money back." I guess they feel like, "Hey, I've been staying in this nice house a long time. I'm not going to buy it. I know what the contract says, so hey, I'll go somewhere else and find another one." They probably do another lease purchase somewhere else. But you got to think about it. They wouldn't have had this opportunity to live in this nice neighborhood, this nice area if they didn't find us.
hmm
So we gave them, we give them that opportunity. Now, what you do with that opportunity is totally up to you.
Yeah, yeah. So when you need a lease option getting out of it, what is your standard time frame, Eddie, regarding the time frame on your option?
What do you mean when we turn it around? Oh, if we lease option it from the seller,
Well, both of them. Well, no, I'm more or less when you sell to the tenant buyer, you've got a certain time frame for them to clean the credit up, or
we typically give them 2 years. Typically 2 years. That's our standard, about 2 years. Now, if the seller want longer, that's fine. But we always tell the seller, we typically give the people about 2 years. That's enough time to get everything cleaned up and buy.
during that time you are, I guess, what are you doing during that time frame? Are you interacting with them or interfacing with them regarding the credit at all, or you just
Well, we present that, at the beginning. They take us up on it, fine. We tell them, contact us, contact the office if you want to, move forward. But they don't. Most of them don't.
yeah, that's my experience too. It's funny how the value of a dollar changes. It can be worth so much getting them in the door,
Yeah,
and then once they're in, it's like I
whatever.
don't care about that.
It's crazy too, man. I mean, me personally, but I guess since we do real estate, we look at it differently. But if I put $10,000 or $20,000 down, my intention is to buy that property as soon as possible.
You daggone right.
'Cause that's money. That money is gone.
That value. Switching gears, I hear you say "we" a lot, Eddie, and I hear most successful people that I meet use the term "we." Tell me a little bit about why you do that.
Well, we have a team, so we have a team over here. Different people working for us, so we can get the job done faster. So we,
So it's not just you in the street doing for our viewers, I hear when I meet a lot of people and they always say we, it's like I know that I can't do everything by myself. I'm guilty of it too. I say we off the top, and people sometimes will ask me, "Who the hell is we?" And it's like I know mentally that I'm not doing this by myself.
right? We have to delegate. We have VAs, virtual assistant. I have an assistant. So you try to do all this by yourself, you're gonna go crazy. You definitely go crazy, especially if you plan on doing like a volume. But if you're not, you just plan on doing it part time, it's a good business you can do part time. It
Mhm.
doesn't take that much time, hour or two a day. If you have that, and you can make it happen.
So how would I'm presuming people working full time would come home and do it at that after they get off of the jobs.
Yeah, after they get off their jobs and on the weekend.
Hmm. So you're going to pre-screen the first thing, obviously, like you got the 5 business steps, but you're pre-screening your sellers to verify that. Does the house have to be vacant, or is your typical house vacant?
Most of them are vacant. We hope they're vacant because we can sell them faster. 'Cause if you have a homeowner in there, you have to keep scheduling times and stuff like that to see the property. So if the homeowner is in the house, that's a good time where we do like that little hour time frame with all our buyers on like a Saturday or Sunday. We give them like an hour or two time frame to come take a look at the property.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
that works out pretty good. But we love them. We rather they be vacant because
Gotcha.
you just put a lockbox on there and just send people in there. And we don't even pre-screen people. Just say if they call in, we give them a lockbox code. We don't pre-screen them like before they go and take a look at the house. We don't do a background check and all this stuff because we never had anything happen. I
Yeah.
mean, worst case scenario, they could take the appliances, but we haven't had that happen. So we just send them in there to speed up things, speed the process up,
Hmm.
and it does speed it up tremendously.
Yeah, we don't show houses, man. I think people, when you tell them just to go in, sometimes when I tell them to go in the house, they can't even believe it.
Yeah,
I spend more time on the phone trying to convince them that it's okay to go in the damn house than talk about anything else.
yeah.
Notes here. Okay, so basically your lease option, either you're taking it over on a lease option, buying it, well, that's called lease purchase, same thing.
Yes, sir.
You either
Yep.
buy, you're either getting the title subject to for our viewers, or getting a lease purchase agreement with the seller.
Right.
Turn around,
Now,
you gotta go ahead.
if we do a lease purchase with the seller, now you're going to be guaranteeing the payments after so long. But we tell the sellers, look, our payment don't start until we find a tenant buyer. So we're not going to say this month is July and August you'll be getting the first month payment. No, once we get this tenant buyer, you will receive a payment. That way we're not coming out of pocket with any money. But we try to do these deals with little money involved. That way
Mhm.
it's hardly no risk to us. To us,
Yeah, low risk. So that's when you say sometimes you'll stay in it. You will do, I guess, would we call that a sandwich lease? So
sandwich, yeah, sandwich lease,
so you will stay in it from time to time if it's a smoking deal.
right?
Gotcha,
If we
gotcha.
see that cash flow gap where we can make, my thing is we want to make at least 200 or better, at least $200, $200 minimum on our sandwich lease options. I'm not staying in a deal for $50 or $100. Well, we can get at least $200 or $300 per house, then we'll stay in the deal, do a sandwich lease purchase, sandwich lease option.
Now, for our viewers that don't quite understand what a sandwich lease is, you want to break it down real quick?
Yeah, Sam's lease option is when you lease purchase the property from a seller with the right to sublease it to your tenant buyer, and you're paying your seller their mortgage payment, which just says it's $1,200. You're paying them $1,200, and you're collecting $1,500 from your tenant buyer. So you're getting that cash flow every month, plus the down payment that you had to give. You had to give a little bit to the seller, but hey, it's a part of the game.
Hmm.
But you got a nice down payment, and you have cash flow every month. And guess what? No calls in the middle of the night after 30 days, which I love. I don't rent, man. Well, it was a nightmare. I don't rent any properties. I don't care. It's lease purchase or I'm Airbnb.
We're gonna do another video on that one, but tell me, I hear your voice. Sounds like you might have done some rentals earlier in your career. You sound like me.
Oh my,
Sound like me.
that's a nightmare. I see why a lot of people get out of real estate business. You got
To
to
get
deal with tenants all the time, man. That's a nightmare. Oh my God. Then you have to evict them. Some of them. Then they tear up your house. Like with these lease purchase buyers, when they leave, you'll think that'll be the person tearing up your house because they put all that money down, but it's just nice. Just like when you got it. I mean, it may be a little wear and tear on the carpet or something like that, but it's still in good shape.
they just move
It's
on.
a different mindset.
That's a good point. Wow, man. You're dropping some nuggets today, brother. I'm trying to think. All the lease option buyers that I have had move out, Eddie, you're right. They have all left the place better than my quote unquote normal tenants.
Oh my God. It's a nightmare.
Maybe that's why a lot of people get out of the business, as you say.
Yeah, a lot of people get out of business. I met a couple of them. Man, how do you deal with it? I said, I don't. I put them in on a lease purchase. I love it. You don't even hear from them, man. I don't. There's some people I haven't heard from in these properties for years.
Just keeps them
Years.
in check. Good for
Unless
you.
they don't have a payment, then we have to contact them. But other than that, no headaches.
Hmm.
That's why I love the pretty house business, man. It's it's like an easy business. As long as you're marketing and putting the right people in there with the right amount of money, it's an easy business.
Nice, nice. Do you ever let people move in with no down payment, Eddie?
Oh, oh.
Billy.
Even the dog answered that one.
Come here, Billy. Man,
No, no, no.
I don't think Billy
No,
like that, brother.
you can't even think about it. Oh my God. Those gonna be the worst one.
Okay, so you
With
always
no down payment, they're gonna tear it up.
okay. So you're mandatory down payment.
Mandatory.
Mm, all right. Okay, brother Eddie, I took an hour out of your time. Anything else you want to leave our viewers about the lease option pretty house business?
It's a great business you guys should get into. Very little headaches, very little hassles. And it's easy money. Easy money. Add it to your toolbox. You always want to have more than one tool in your toolbox. A lot of those leads you're throwing away in the trash. Hey, and me and Chris, we could partner with you guys on.
Yep.
Don't leave all that money on the table, guys. I'm telling you. I run across a lot of wholesalers that throwing leads away. And I run an ad from time to time, you know, having an investor ad that if they have leads, send them to us and we'll partner with them on.
Hmm.
So, but we have our own deal, so we have a lot going.
Nice, nice. Okay, Eddie, this is it for today, brother, and maybe we'll do an Airbnb one in the future.
Okay,
All
y'all
right,
be
guys.
blessed. Thanks a
Let
lot.
me see if I got any questions, Eddie. Hold tight. I don't see. I think I'm doing something wrong. Let me just make sure I don't have any questions. If you got 2 more minutes, let me check. I'm an amateur when it comes to this thing, so bear with me. Billy didn't like that question, did he?
Technology,
He didn't like that one.
man.
Chat. Any questions, viewers, you got on here? I don't see. I think that it's messing up. Control room. 10 here. No comments. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. Good Lord. All right. What about the percentage of people end up not buying for? I'm sorry. Darn, I'm sorry, guys. All these questions over here. Eddie, you got a few more minutes, brother?
Yes, I do.
I'm sorry, man. Okay, Erica wants to. Okay, Erica, you're here. Hey, Lord, I should have been seeing this stuff. Justin, what about the percentage of people that end up not buying for whatever reason? What do you end up doing with them, brother Eddie?
Well, they end up moving out most likely.
They move on their own accord.
Right. We don't even have to evict them. Most of them move out. I say the majority of them just move out.
The majority of them move out. Okay. Do you have to sometimes evict them as well?
Yeah, I had to evict a couple of them, take them to court, because they think, they put the down payment down that they're entitled to their down payment. But once the judge see that it's non-refundable, it's really a done deal because we have two agreements. One agreement would be the rental agreement. Then the other agreement would be the option to purchase agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So
I got you.
the judge see that non-refundable is pretty much over with.
Yeah, let's get to that moving part, Eddie. I forgot to cover that. The moving parts of your lease option. I heard you say two different agreements. Give me a little bit on that, because we do. I just want to make sure our viewers don't think you just got one document going in there and signing off.
Right. So we have a rental agreement that's pretty tight rental agreement that they sign.
That gives them quiet enjoyment.
Right. So they basically rent it with the option to purchase.
Okay.
We have a rental agreement, and then the second agreement we have is the option to purchase agreement, which is totally different from the rental agreement. The rental agreement states, how much you're going to pay per month,
Mm-hmm.
your term, and then the option agreement state, your term that you have to purchase it, the purchase price, and how much you put down.
Gotcha.
And it states, I think, on the second line that this money is non-refundable.
I love it. Non-refundable. Got to be. Got to be.
You got to make sure it has those words in there because if it don't, you may have to give that money back. Well, I know you will.
We don't want to do that. Okay. The red dot. Okay. The red dots. Must you buy with a hard money or a 3-year for beginner flippers?
Or what he's talking about, ugly houses.
Uh, the red Dawson. Let me know. Are you talking about ugly houses or pretty houses? I think he's talking about pretty houses.
With pretty houses, the only thing you need is marketing money.
Yeah, because the loan is already in place, right, Eddie? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. It always already have a mortgage on the property, most of them.
Okay.
So only thing you're doing, you basically like just finding a tenant buyer, somebody who wants to buy, but they want to rent to buy. So the
Gotcha.
mortgage is already in place, everything's in place, so you don't have to come with no money out of the pocket, which I love. Like I said before, only thing you have to come up with is marketing money. Make sure you
Nice.
market every month, and pretty much a done deal.
Nice.
And when you're dealing with the seller, you don't have to give them any money because you're doing a lease. You're doing either that option form that we have,
Mm-hmm.
where you're doing where you wholesale lease option, where you in and out, which doesn't require any money to the seller,
Yep.
or you're doing a sandwich lease option, where you're doing a lease agreement with the right to sublease, and it doesn't require any money down either.
Okay. I'm gonna let you go. Let me think. I got two more. Quality childcare had like that, dear Daniel. Oh, Daniel wants to know, what is your ballpark budget that you spend on advertising every month, Eddie?
We do probably about anywhere from about 3 grand, 2 to 3 grand.
All right, got that down. That's gonna be for buyers and sellers.
This is on the buying side.
Buyer side. Okay,
The selling side is most of the stuff is online, so it's really not too much money, and we do signs.
gotcha.
Now, the signs, it depends on how aggressive you want to be. If we want to just really get rid of this property quick, we'll tear the block up with about 200 signs and get rid of it. Hit all the major intersections. Just tear up Walmart. They probably hate me, but Walmart, we tear Walmart up because face it, everybody go to Walmart.
Yep.
Walmart, grocery stores, we tear them up.
Rent to own
Rent
properties.
them. no credit check. Ooh,
No,
rent home, no credit check. Ooh, that phone go to ringing like crazy.
because a lot of people looking to rent and then they want to be a homeowner.
Right.
I love it, Eddie. All right. Thank you for your time. How do you where Oh yeah, they want to analyze that last deal, Eddie. That one that I met you on. That one, or you want to go with that one that I saw you on, and that break down that one deal. Then we gone.
Um, I had that. Well, I know the house was worth about I think 500. Now this property here is a nice house. The seller only owed about 200,000 on the property, but he haven't updated the property. So
Oh,
he had it listed for 2 years, but it's a certain amount that he didn't want to go below. But he knew he would have had to sell it for less because the property wasn't updated. Like it was always, it needed like granite, it needed all the bathrooms needed to be updated, but it was still a nice house. Paint was good in the inside, outside, flooring good, but it didn't look like a 2018 property.
yeah.
And it's new properties. It was new construction right by him, so in another neighborhood. So of course somebody gonna go for 500,000. They're gonna go buy a brand new house instead of getting this old house. They got to put 50,000 in or
Mhm.
30,000 in. So the house actually sat on the market for about 2 years,
Wow.
and that lead we actually found that one off the MLS. So it didn't even
Expired.
cost. It was expired listen too. So it didn't even cost us any money, and we made 15,000 on it. We got 30,000 down payment from our tenant buyer, lady out of New York, and my assistant. Good thing also run ads out of town because we found that buyer from New York. We ran a Craigslist ad in New York with the property, and the lady called us from New York.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so hit different areas too, guys, like with your different posts and stuff. Because it was a higher end house, so we had to think outside the box on that one.
What were you thinking of what was your thought process about advertising in New York?
Because we know a lot of people from New York, up north, mostly want to come down here. And the house is 500,000. You don't get anything in New York,
Mhm.
especially this house here, like 5,000 square feet. I think it was 5,500. So
Wow.
you can't even think of getting that in New York.
Hmm.
So she seen that it was she was a CPA, and actually she's trying to get cash out this month. And it's because it's been a while. But the crazy thing about it, she just started the process, and her lease is up next month.
What do you mean she just started the process?
She's been in the property for about 2 years,
Hmm.
so her contract expired in 30 days.
I see what you're saying.
She just started trying to get her credit repaired
Mm.
and inquiring about the mortgage. And my seller is like, and then the seller died, so we got to deal with the wife. The wife she's not easy like the husband. She's a seller from hell. Hey, you're not out in 30 days. I'm gonna sell my house because now the market is back. See, 2 years ago, the market was still a little shaky, but now the market is back over there in that area, and she ready to cash out. But now she can probably get that 500.
Mm.
So that's about $300,000. She
Wow.
can't wait to get it.
Yeah, she don't want to get that, bro.
Yeah. So it's the
So you had to
nature of
give
the beast.
15,000 on that one, and you had to no, you got 30. You had to give the seller 15 on that one.
Yeah, we split that. We got 15. The seller got 15,
Free
and
money.
we stayed in on that deal, and we got about I think 400 or 500 a month on that property.
Does this work? Daniel wants to know, does this work in any state?
Oh yeah, that I'm aware of. It does.
Yeah, me too. I know. I mean, shit, we do it here. I mean, you doing it in Georgia. All right, let me let you go. I'm Friday. I'm done.
Okay. Good talking with you guys. Chris, thank you. See you on the next one.
Yep, I'll talk to you guys soon. God bless you. All right, bye.